What is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to break down the Slick Outbreak event here that is going to be specifically featuring fragments here of Zombie Juggernaut and his return in his event activity that's actually coming up pretty shortly here. So we're going to be deep diving the math here in terms of how feasible this is and what we're going to be gunning for, but as well what it's going to look like in terms of rewards and how active you're going to be needing to participate. So as you can see here on the Marvel Strike Force blog post summary, to earn scoring points for this, you're essentially earning these Crimson Tombstones, as well as spending power cores, as well as battling an alliance war with the Undying team. That in essence is the gist of it, right? There's a web milestone component that's tied back to the power cores component, which also involves cosmic crucible battles as well. So obviously all of it's going to add up over time here, but yeah, just something to be mindful of, guys. Now, having said that, they give us a nice little breakdown for the event chart here. And to be honest, there's not really anything crazy, guys. Like, it's another one of those like back-to-back trap events where, you know, similar to last week, right? Like, we didn't want to, you know, waste any power cores going through and working towards that event, because really anything beyond that monthly item that's going to be adding to the leader monthly milestone, there's not really much to write home about. As you can see, we have the 15 shards here of leader and the oil tanker here in orange, and that's slotted in at milestone 14 at 73,000 points. Beyond that, I mean, we're talking about augmented gear, gold promotion credits, some basic T2 ISO 8 orbs. I mean, there's not really anything crazy beyond the final milestone, which is the 20,000 Crimson Raid orb fragments, which, by the way, is about 10 orbs, right? And then a 1 orb of the diamond orb fragments. And that is a whale / kraken stones that we definitely should not be spending time on, because we always want to be, you know, getting the bare minimum and saving as much resources as much as possible. Now, as you can see here, this is a pretty big breakdown here, but it's in essence, what you need to be doing then is really going through and winning or losing your war battles. It's going to give you a big chunk of this, about 1/3 of what we need to actually hit that monthly item. Also, having any of the Undying members is going to help for sure. So having, you know, characters like, you know, Zombie Juggernaut built up at 5 stars and beyond is going to give you bonus points. Same with Zombie Iron Man and as well Hela, all being part of those respective Undying team members. And then finally, there is going to be an event campaign tied with this, where when you're farming those Crimson Tombstones, it's going to be adding a one-to-one conversion to this. So obviously that's going to be a pretty notable portion, in my honest opinion, based on the math that we're seeing here. So how does this look, guys? How free-to-play friendly is this? I also want to quickly just show for you here the Rise of the Bees, right? The Rise of the Bees also is featured here because this is the web milestone that's tied back to this event, and you do need to be spending power cores with this one, and as well as battling in Cosmic Crucible. But it's interesting because when we're looking through this here, there's actually not a limit for the playing in Cosmic Crucible. So typically we do see a limit when we're seeing any kind of involvement because it caps you, but because there's no limit, it means actually for this event anyways, the more Cosmic Crucible battles you do, in this case failing intentionally, is going to make this a very easy event where you may not need to spend power cores here. For example, typically the max number of battles that you can do if you're going through is 18, right? But you can always expand that more if you're taking more than one attempt through the node. So at the end of the day, if that's the case, this could be a very easy milestone to hit. I just don't know if this is accurate, but let's just assume for the sake that this is an error and the max you can do is about, you know, north of 18 battles, then we know this is only going to give you 1,800 out of the 3,800, which means the remaining 2,000 has to be funneled through by power cores, and this is an 8-day milestone. So just something to be mindful of. You may have to spend 200 to 250 cores per day if this is wrong. If it's not wrong, then actually just do more battles, and that's going to save you power cores, which is actually really awesome. But anyways, guys, back to the main milestone event here that we were talking about in terms of the breakdown. How free-to-play friendly is this? What should we be gunning for? Here's my summary table as per usual. So as you can see, for this 8-day event for Slick Outbreak, we're going to be getting 24,000 points, again, from just mainly battling in war, winning or losing. It doesn't really matter. If you have Undying characters, all 3 of them, and not at any specific levels, you're going to be getting a raw 2,200 points from just using all of them to battle, win or lose. At 5 stars with all 3 of them, you're going to be getting 5,400. I only have Hela and Zombie Iron Man built up at 5 stars and beyond, so that's 2,400. You get a really nice boost if you have Zombie JUGGZ already built up naturally. And then finally, at 6 to 7 stars, you can get a net total of 34,000. I'm only going to be getting 8,000 because, again, similar situation. I only have Hela and Zombie Iron Man built up at, I think Iron Man's at 6 stars and then Hela's at 7, so that gives me the 8K there. And then finally, we do have that web milestone that I alluded to earlier, which gives you a whopping total of 5,000 there. And then finally, what I've done is I've highlighted in yellow here. This is kind of what I'm assuming to be the payout here for the tombstones, because we don't really have anything else giving us the top up here. And on top of that, you need 73,000 points in total for the oil tanker, which gives you the featured oil tanker, but as well the 15 shards of leader, which is kind of a nice little boost there at milestone 12. So we need to be getting about 35 to 40,000 points from the tombstones. Again, this is an assumption, guys, because they don't typically disclose this for us, but this is kind of what we're using as a gauge right now. And from what we can see, this seems to be reasonable. Hopefully that's the case, or maybe they need to review some of their numbers, because it doesn't seem reasonable. But in my honest opinion, guys, this could be a very, very engaged event just to hit the actual minimum. So try to save as much resources as you can if you're able to. And finally, let me go back to the event chart here, back to the Rise of the Bees run. Remember, if this is accurate right here, guys, you may not need to actually spend power cores here because you may actually be able to do more battles, right? Keep in mind, if you're doing more crucible battles, purposely and intentionally throwing the battle, so that way you can get more points. I may just be doing that just because at the end of the day, if there's an opportunity for me not to use power cores, I may do that just so that way I can save that resource. But yeah, just something to be mindful of, guys. We don't really know yet. Hopefully we get that confirmation in a day or two, and if there is, I'll make an update video on this. But in the meantime, though, we're gonna assume that it's 1800. That's a max, and the rest of it does have to be utilized through power core. So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. But hopefully this helps you guys prepare. Do appreciate your guys' time as always. Thank you, and let me know anything in the comments below. I'll catch you guys in the next one.